What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NY Phenom. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some more gaming content soon, give this video a like, and if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Now, let's get into this video. Listen, power rankings, man. Power rankings going to the week 4, man. Week 14. Saying week 4, man. This season is flown by. The fact that we only have 3 more weeks into the playoffs it's mind-blowing. I mean, this season is definitely flown by. And it's been one of the most competitive seasons that we had in a very long time, man. I don't think I really seen a season this up in the air where we really don't know what's going to happen. Like, the parity in the NFL it's insane. Because let's be real. We all knew going to last year that the Patriots, they were the best team. Okay, they were the best team of the AFC. I know the Chiefs were hot, but nobody was believing that the Chiefs were going to win versus the Patriots come playoff time. Because my thing, the Chiefs didn't have a defense, and the Patriots, they were just a better all-around team with Tom Brady. But not to get off on a tangent. Let's speak about the power rankings, since that's what the video is about. Listen, the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. There should be no questions about it, okay? I had the Ravens number 1 for the past 2 weeks. And, well, I didn't make a video about the power rankings last week, but the week before, there was some controversy because you still had the hot Patriots, the hot 49ers, and people still thought I could have been overrating the Ravens. There is no overrating the Ravens. If you don't have the Ravens at the top spot at the moment when it comes to power rankings going to week 14, you're delusional. The Ravens are the hottest team at the moment, and you have to put them at number 1. You got the MVP right now in the league, at least for the moment, Lamar Jackson. And you got this stout defense playing amazing. I mean, the pickup of Marcus Peters, it looks amazing. And, I have my questions about Marcus Peters joining the Ravens, because my thing is, Marcus Peters, this is going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. You saw with the Rams, he's better when he's schemed or when he's Marcus Peters is best when you let him just roam around the field, okay? And I know that might sound odd, but I mean, he's better when he's not in man coverage. He's a zone corner that likes to roam around the field, freestyle a bit, and make plays on the ball. But just as a man-to-man corner, you can see him get beat a few times. But overall, it's worked really well. Ravens defense balling out. We know what this offense is doing, and they just came off the biggest win of their season. Was it the biggest win of the season? Either the Patriots or 49ers. One of the biggest wins of the season, hands down. Close game, but overall the Ravens got it done. Lamar Jackson and the running game balling out, and the defense doing their thing. The defense played well. I know that they gave that one bomb to who was it? Was it Deebo Samuel, who Jimmy G threw the bomb to? But overall, they played well. I know the run defense looks kind of shaky, but it is what it is. They're the hottest team. Haven't lost a game since week 5, week 6. They're on a winning streak, and they're hot. And I'm not sure if anybody can touch this team at the moment. Yeah, I have my Seahawks in number 2. Do something about it. I wish I would say something about it. Besides the Ravens, the Hawks are the second hottest team in the NFL. I mean, the Ravens are the only team hotter than the Hawks at the moment. Big wins from week to week. Beat the 49ers. Beat the Eagles. Beat a hot Vikings team, who a lot of people predicted to beat us at home. I mean, listen, we haven't lost a game since we played the Ravens earlier in the year. And both of our losses came at home. We had a home loss at week 3 to the Saints by Teddy Bridgewater and the crew, and we lost to the Ravens. Besides that, we've been unstoppable. Offense, running the ball. Rashad Penny starting to get in the groove. Chris Carson doing this thing. Just got to keep that ball up in the air without fumbling. The wide receivers balling out. We make a move for Josh Gordon. DK Metcalf is developing throughout the year. Josh Gordon is doing his, not Josh Gordon, Tyler Lockett is doing his thing. Hell, David Moore caught a 60-yard bomb, Monday night. So, overall, the Seahawks offense is balling. Offensive line, it's not as bad as it was in 2017 and 2016. However, this offensive line is missing Justin Bird a bit. But, overall, offensive line is still playing solid. DJ Fluker, Ipati, Edifi, the whole entire crew, the offensive line is just balling from top to bottom. And hopefully we can keep that up and Russell Wilson is not dealing with pressure every second, because that's going to be huge going to the playoffs. But, defense is playing well. Defense is super underrated. I know a lot of people have questions about defense, talking about we're at a bottom 10 defense in the NFL. That's so fucking disrespectful, man. Super disrespectful. Clowney is playing the best football of his career. We know Clowney is a stud, best run stuffer in the NFL. Is pass rushing. He's putting pressure on the quarterback that he's hasn't done in a while. Listen, a lot of people talk about Clowney and how he doesn't get a lot of sacks, this and the third. Okay, you can talk about how he doesn't get a lot of sacks, but what about the pressure he's getting? What about the pressure he gets on the quarterback every? Listen, how many times have we seen quarterbacks keep a running back to block just because Clowney is rushing the edge? You got to account for that. You got to account for the pressures, the hurries, and all the extra stuff Clowney brings with his run stuffing ability. He's big, he's powerful, he's strong, and he's tough. Clowney's a star. Zeke Ansah starting to get things going. Jaron Reed, Quentin Jefferson, Antoine Woods. We just balling up on the defensive line. Raheem Green is starting to get things going. This defensive line from top to bottom is beast mode. We got one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL. Got the best middle linebacker. You can possibly say Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner. Take who you want. I'm going to go with my man Bobby Wagner. It is what it is. KJ Wright. Michael Kendricks. His linebacking core is stout. The secondary, a lot of people also have questions about that, but my thing is we traded for Quandre Diggs, who's been balling, by the way, with us. Trey Flowers, Shaquille Griffin has really stepped it up this year. McDonald, Marquise Blair. Our secondary really isn't that bad. It's not spectacular. It's not the LLB. Okay, it's not Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Byron Maxwell, and the crew. But, listen, it doesn't have to be that. We're playing fine. And this defensive line is putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, so we're not really seeing the secondary have to guard receivers for 5 seconds or longer. So the Hawks are number 2 spot. And there really isn't no debating that at the moment. I know a lot of people give me hate. Oh, you're just a biased Seahawks fan. You're not being objective. Get out of here with that. Tell me another team that's besides the Ravens that's higher than the Seahawks at the moment. You can't name them. Let's keep it pushing. 49ers, Saints, Patriots. I got them all in my top 5. I had the 49ers at 3, Saints 4, 5 Patriots. Listen, it was kind of tough mixing this in of who, that can all be kind of interchangeable. But my thing is, right now at the 3 spot, though, I'm going to go with the 49ers. I know they lost versus the Ravens, but, like I said, that was the Ravens. That's the number 1 team. They kept it close. They played in that terrible rainy condition. And, it is what it is. They had to play on the road. This came off a big road win against the Packers. So, or a big home win versus the Packers. Had to travel all the way to Baltimore. It is what it is. Baltimore is a tough team, as you saw. And the 49ers didn't even play bad. It wasn't like the Ravens scored 46 points on them like they did the Rams. So, overall, the 49ers are still a legit team. I'm just hoping that these injuries, players can heal up quickly. Like Matt Breida should be back soon. I think Joey Staley is going to be back soon. D Ford is going to be back soon, so they're starting to get healthy at the right moment. Hopefully Sherman is not injured for a long experience, extended amount of time. You got Tart, one of their premier safeties. They have to be healthy. Jimmy Ward and the crew. They need their players healthy, and they're dealing with some injuries at the moment. But you got players like Rasheem Monster stepping it up. Wide receivers are starting to step it up, like Deebo Samuel. You got Marquise Goodwin still there, Kendrick Bourne, George Kittle is back. And this team is starting to get healthy at the right moment. They just got to stay away from injuries, especially in the secondary. And they should be good, but this pass rush is going to be elite, especially when D Ford comes back. And, they're still the number 3 team, because my thing is, besides the Ravens loss, listen, their 2 losses are versus the Hawks and the Ravens. Those are the 2 top teams in the NFL at the moment. So they have to be number 3. For Saints, listen, the Saints have, they won versus the Falcons. It wasn't the most impressive win, but it is what it is. You got the win. I know a lot of people might have, you really couldn't have an issue, because like I said, it's interchangeable. I know some people might have the Saints at number 3, or the Patriots at number 3, or that in the third, but right now I just feel the 49ers are harder than the Saints and the Patriots. The Saints still lost to the Falcons at home. That's still I got to see a dominant win. And that's another thing. The Saints haven't really had a dominant win yet. Listen, okay, so this week, Saints versus 49ers, that's gonna be the game. Okay, so we'll see where the teams line up from that. It is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, this has the Saints on number 4. Patriots on number 5. They came off an ugly loss to the Texans. I know it was just 28-22, but 5 minutes going into the fourth quarter, or 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, the score was 28-9. It wasn't as close as the score looked. Tom Brady's offense doesn't look good. I know a lot of people are talking about Tom Brady's washed. Some people say that he has no weapons. But honestly, I think it's a mixture of both. I don't know if I can really say Tom Brady is completely washed. Looking at the stat sheet, you can say stuff like that. But when I watch him on the field, he can still make a lot of big time throws. But my thing is, he's not the same under pressure, and he needs more talent. It's true, he needs more talent, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're 42 years old, but they could definitely use an AB at the moment, for real. Defense is not looking as stout as it did early in the season. Starting to face some tougher competition. Maybe that's saying something. I still think this defense is good. I still think it's elite. But I don't think it's impossible to score in this team. I think Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, Will Fuller, Kenny Stills, and the crew, they showed that. But that's my top 5. Overall, we're talking more about the Patriots. I think the offensive line is on the show. Losing someone like a David Andrews is crucial. Also, losing their starting fullback. I know a lot of people are not talking about James Delavan, but he played a crucial part of that 2018 championship run. All the odd formations, Bill Belichick was running all the strong formations, all the weak formations. A lot of that played a part with James Delavan being the best blocking fullback in the NFL. He's on IR. He's out for the season. That plays a huge factor of this team. Sonny Michel, that's taken away from Sonny Michel running game. Sonny Michel is not looking how he did last year. So, overall, that's that with the Patriots. This is my thing with the Patriots. I'm not going to doubt this team. I'm not going to say this team is, I don't see them, not being a real championship contender this year. Because my thing is, I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it, man. This team has always been in the hunt. They've been in the championship. They've been in the Super Bowl for the past 3 seasons. I would have to see it to believe it before I say this team is just done. I gotta see it to believe it before I say Tom Brady is done. Because skillfully he looks the same besides him under pressure. The only thing I really see that's really declined is him under pressure. He senses pressure more and he's not staying in the pocket like how he used to. That's the only thing I see that's different. Arm talent, in my opinion, is still there though. For the rest of the five though, listen, this is kind of tough, but at the end of the day, you got the Packers at 6. Came off, I won't really say impressive win. They were supposed to beat the Giants, but a win is a win. Good teams beat bad teams, and that's step number one. But, coming off an embarrassing loss to the 49ers, I mean, they're going to really get some momentum going to the playoffs. My thing is, the Packers don't want to be a wild card team. They don't. They don't want to be a wild card team. And, if the Packers are a wild card team and they're not the leader of their division where teams have to go in and go to Lambeau, I mean, that changes the playoffs, the championship run, say, for Aaron Rodgers. It makes it a lot tougher. So, Packers, in my opinion, they need that home field advantage, at least for their division. That first seed is looking like it might be out of reach, especially losing to the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers will have to lose. The Packers will pretty much have to win out. 49ers will have to lose like 2. They need the Saints to lose some. My Hawks, they would need them to lose some. I mean, it's looking like Green Bay might not be the number 1 seed. But, a win is a win at the end of the day. Bills, man. Shout out to the Bills. They're impressive, man. They're impressive. No doubt a top 10 team in the NFL. No doubt. Defense, man. I can't give enough credit to Sean McDermott and his defense. I mean, this is one of the most fundamental, stout, just defenses that just play accordingly. They just do what they do. They do their job and they get things done. I'm going to start calling the Buffalo Bills the San Antonio Spurs of the NFL. I mean, for real, these guys are always in the right position, always there to make the right plays, and playing fundamental football on both sides of the field. You see Josh Allen looking better in his sophomore year, looking a little bit more accurate, controlling the team, looking like a real leader out there. Running the ball, Devin Singletary, Frank Gore and the crew. Running the ball pretty well. John Brown is having his best season in the NFL. You got Cole Beasley looking solid. So, overall, this Buffalo Bills team is legit. They can run the ball, they can play defense, and that's a good recipe going to the playoffs. And, listen, before I go into the other spot, shout out to the Bills for going into Dallas on Thanksgiving and handling business. I mean, just looking at Jerry Jones' face throughout the game, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I can't front. It was a lot of fun. Listen, 8, 9, and 10. It's a toss-up. And I know I might get a lot of hate for this, but I had the Texans at 10, Chiefs at 9, 8 for the Vikings. Listen, yes, the Texans beat the Patriots, and it was an impressive win. But I'm not sure they're really better than the Chiefs. I mean, at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, we saw the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game last year. Honestly, if you ask me, I think that the Chiefs team, how can I explain this? I'm not sure if I really think the Chiefs team from last year is better than this Chiefs team from this year. However, I just think they have more momentum going to the playoffs last year. I think there was a different vibe to the team, and I'm just not seeing that scary threat. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still going to be Patrick Mahomes, but offensive line is not the same, man. And I try to stress this, but we see the difference of this offensive line after losing to Mitch Morse, after losing a few other veterans. I mean, this offensive line is not the same, and I think it's really holding back this entire team. This defense is inconsistent. I don't know what type of defense is going to show up for the Chiefs in the game. I mean, sometimes the defense is going to look like what they did last week against the Raiders, hold them to 9 points. Or are they going to look what they look like against the Titans? So it is what it is. They still can't stop the run. However, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to hold teams to 9 points, who cares about stopping the run? But I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have to face elite teams. They're going to have to face the Tom Brady's of the world, the Lamar Jacksons of the world. They're going to have to face the Texans again. They're going to have to face tough teams. And, I'm just not confident in the Chiefs team like I was. Well, this defense this year shows some more promise than they did last year. The Chiefs defense last year was atrocious. And they've been atrocious at times this year, but at times they can look good. You saw what they looked like last week against the Raiders. We saw what they looked like against the Broncos. They played good against the Vikings a few weeks back. I mean, it's really hard to know which Chiefs defense you're going to get. So, if this Chiefs defense going to playoffs has some momentum, maybe they can make a run. But I wouldn't bet on it. Texans, like I said, they're number 10 just because overall talent-wise, it's just not there with the rest of the teams. I love me some Deshaun Watson. Let's keep that a full 100. I love me some Deshaun Watson. Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the game, hands down. Will Fuller, Kenny Stills, they're making their impact. They got skilled players there. Carlos Hyde is toting that route this year. Duke Johnson is a do-it-all running back. Offensive line, like I said, is still sketchy, man. It's still there. You brought in Laramie Tunsil, one of the best pass blocking tackles in the NFL. But, overall, the offensive line is still not. It's not there. One player on the offensive line can't change the whole entire offensive line. Defensive wise, I mean, they played well against the Patriots. I can't front. Jonathan Joseph, Roby and the crew, they were playing well against the Patriots. Hell, Hargraves, who they just picked up, is playing well. But at the end of the day, man, the pass rush it still kind of concerns me. I know they got a few players stepping up there that are starting to make an impact, but I'm not sure these guys are going to be reliable. Like I said, there is no Clowney or J.J. Watt rushing the passes, so just the threat is not there. Even though I love me some DJ Reader. DJ Reader, he's a legit defensive tackle. I got to show him some love, but at the end of the day, I mean, no Clowney. He's playing with my Hawks. And, I hear talks about J.J. Watt possibly returning with a torn pec. But I got to see it to believe it, man. If J.J. Watt returns by the playoffs with a torn pec, I mean, that would be some John Cena 2008 Royal Rumble type shit. I mean, do you guys who watch WWE remember John Cena returning for Royal Rumble after rupturing what the hell did John Cena rupture? I don't even fucking remember it. It's been over a decade. Anyway, that would be some John Cena 2008 Royal Rumble stuff. And I mean, who knows? If J.J. Watt does return by playoff time, they're destined to make a championship run. I mean, that has a movie. That's just like a movie scene all day. That's a whole entire story. Anyway, Vikings number 8. I know they lost to my Hawks, but at the end of the day, this was a hot team going to the game. They played versus my Hawks one of their top receivers. That's no excuse. Y'all still lost to us. Okay, so don't use that as an excuse, because I could say that we lost our starting center, Justin Brett, but we lost our starting tight end, Will Disley. So there is no excuses. However, this team has a lot of talent. Dalvin Cook, hopefully he's healthy and doesn't miss up extended period of time. Receiving core, Diggs and the crew, Kirk Cousins and all. Defense looking solid, okay. It's just Xavier Rhodes, man. I'm gonna need you to turn into what you were in 2017. Now, I don't think that blown coverage of David Moore was all Xavier Rhodes' fault. I really don't think that was. I think that was more on the safety. I think that was Harrison Smith who should have. What's it, Harrison Smith or Anthony Harris? I don't remember. I think that was more of a busted coverage on the safety. However, I mean, it is what it is. We're going to need some better play overall from Rhodes. But, you know, overall wise, the Vikings are they're still contenders. It's just they're going to most likely be a wild card team. And, you know, it's going to be hard going to Green Bay, going into San Fran, into Seattle, or New Orleans and getting a W come playoff time. But they have talent for sure on both sides of the field. But that's my power rankings, man. This video's went on way too long. I'm not going to do a game recap. I'm not going to do it. You guys know what happened throughout Week 13. I mean, it is what it is. Be looking out for a Ron Rivera video, though, soon. But that's it. That's all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm the Phenomenal, and I'm out. Deuces.